Hello viewer, how you doing? So today we're gonna be talking to Enolix Consultants CEO, Mr. Enos mwenyewe kabisa, and he's gonna be telling us so much. You know, we hosted him here last time and he talked so much about business registration, NCA, things to do with tax and so many other things, but there are things he may have left out and there are people who've been asking me these questions. So we are here with him today. How are you doing, Enos?
I'm fine, Nelly. How are you?
Awesome, I'm grateful.
Welcome again to Enolix. Thank you.
I see you're doing amazing work here in Westlands. Your office is glittering one.
We are trying, Ellie.
Tell me, before you came here, where were you located? You told me you were located where?
No, I don't know. I don't know where to start. But the moment I started running Enolix, my first office was in town, Post Bank House, right from 2016 to around 2019. And because of COVID, we went to House of Leather in Kilimani. Then after then, we also briefly had an office at Olaiboni Center on the Nana Road. And then now, because people are expanding and new ideas are coming, now we ultimately decided to settle here at Kipro Center. It's a big office. It's more central. Regardless of which part of Nairobi you are coming from, it is more reachable. You can reach it very easily as compared to the other offices that we've been having. Yes.
Now, you've been so big since we did our interview. You know, you told people that you can register a company in just 2 days. And people are like, really? Who's this guy? Where is he located at? First of all, tell us about company registration. People are wondering, what is company registration?
Now, Ellie, as I told you last time, the uptake of this information that I'm giving out there had been really not so good. But of late, people are registering companies, even on their own. People just call me, hey, I've done this, thank you, I picked the advice from you. Now, what I'm championing today is for people not to register business names. You know, you can register a company in three main ways. You can register a business name which operates in your own name. You just write to Sharia House or register that I want to do business in my name. There's a lot of disadvantages. Or you can convert an existing business name to a limited liability company. Or you can just go straight and register a limited liability company. So probably if you give me time, then I would tell you the disadvantages of a business name and the process of converting a business name to a limited liability company, and the advantages of doing it alone or doing it as a group when you want to form a company.
We have all the time, my friend, in the world. First of all, tell us, explain to me, can I start my own company myself without having other people? Because nowadays when Nairobi, I came to hustle kivyangu. Why should I start a company with Mr. X, Y, and Z and I don't know where they are? So can I start a company as a one individual person in Kenya?
Just to answer you straight on the question that you've asked, yes, you can register your company alone. The government has regularized this thing through eCitizen to the effect that the moment you have your national ID number, you automatically on eCitizen. There's something called IPRS, a discussion for another day, and you know the database of KNBS, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Now, the moment you have a company, as long as you are 18 years, the moment you have your ID, as long as you are 18 years old, you can register a company. You can go it alone. This case, I mean, whether business name or a limited liability company, you can go it alone. You will be swift in decision making. You'll enjoy all the profits. You are flexible. You can leave line A, you jump to line B and do business. And then it is satisfying to do what you like without being interfered by so many other people. But then it has also disadvantages because there's something called pooling of resources. If we are so many of you, then you pool resources together. That's the positive side of it. And then also there is a diversity. People have skills. You join the skills together so that you run this company successfully. And then also the other advantages, because people come from different backgrounds, even in terms of resources here and there. But I tell you, I can actively advise somebody not to really jump into a group to form a company. I've seen people suffer out here. Companies are gathering dust in the shelf out here. Even 3 people cannot even organize themselves. You realize somebody amesema, mimi sitaki hiyo kampuni nimetoka. Maybe you had maybe I was with me, you, and maybe a female friend, probably girlfriend or viewers or something. Just say, because we're working together, let us. The moment you disagree with your girlfriend, it kills all this company. The entire operation of this company. Me, I've not done anything wrong, but you, because you had issues with your lady there, and I said, nimewachana huyu jamaa, sitaki kusikia kila kitu. In that line, it is also hurting me. So people have companies which are just lying in the shelf, not operating because of petty disagreements. This is brought about majorly because they did not come into some serious agreements when they were forming this company. If you know your interest is unique, go it alone. Yeah, don't really be jumpy to fix yourself in some corner in a group, then you want to form a company. It is not advisable.
But Enos, this is a company I called you in, I called other people in. Why should you bring problems for me? Why can't I just kick you out of this business? And because I remain with my own company, why should I have ups and downs, squabbles with you while I can just kick you out? Is it possible for me to remove you in a company? Is there something like that? Because divorces are all over the place. What can you say about that if you have disagreements? Because umeniambia person A, person B, person C can have some disagreements. But what next?
Eli, kicking out is a very bad term that you cannot use when you are referring to restructuring a company in as far as shareholding is concerned. You know, for me to join that company, I just signed something small. And then I gave you my ID number. You went ahead and registered the company. For me to come out of that company, you cannot remove me by force. I'll have to sign minutes, which you also have to sign. I have to sign affidavit. I have to swear affidavit, sorry. Then I also have to sign resignation letter. Then the signatures that I have, the specimen signatures at the Sharia house must resemble what I'm going to sign here. Ultimately, if you log into my eCitizen, or rather the eCitizen page of that company, if you check my space, you'll realize I have an email address and the phone number. Sharia house must ultimately communicate to me through that email that Mr. X, Y, and Z, I'm X, Y, and Z from Sharia house. Please confirm that you have agreed to come out of this company and maybe leave your shares too. So it is a watertight kind of a case, and I must agree. If you go ahead and remove me forcefully from a company, if I know you are removing me, I'll not talk to you. I'll not even interfere with you. But the moment I run the CR12 and I realize I'm not in that company, I go to Sharia house. They'll start looking for the lawyer, the advocate who witnessed the affidavit, because they have their contacts there. Then the immediate beneficiaries is you. Those who are remaining in the company, they'll start with you. You'll be arrested, DCI. That is fraud. That is forgery. And my friend, let me tell you, it's a heavy case out here. Don't forge any government document. Don't remove somebody from the company by force. So the moment you want me to join you in the company, be aware of the scenarios under which you can remove me from the company. You can pass a special resolution if I did any criminal act, that's allowed. But hadi tumekosana tu kidogo, ati sichukui simu yako nataka kunitoa, hautatumia hiyo kampuni, fungua kampuni yako. Unless you pay me is when I can come out of the company. That is why I advise people out there, don't remove anybody from a company by force. Also, when you are forming a company, look at your interests. Are they similar? Are you guys going to move together? And then, above all, don't be 15 people, 20 people registering a company. It will not go anywhere. It will not go anywhere. So, I don't know, some people say that I misadvise them on that, but it depends on the cohesion level of your group. But all in all, I don't advise people to just come in a big group. There are people even do 20 people. This company, the moment it is registered, it is not going anywhere.
Now, Enos, you've spoken something very serious, that if you are many people, it is quite risky. Now, kuna hawa mama wenye wako pale kwa chama pale nyumbani, they've been changaring, but wanashindwa. Now it is time to build a company, be professional. What can you advise them? Is it advisable for them to open a company, or what is the way forward for such people?
That's a very good question. Now, the only entity that is really perceived as an entity which can do business is a company. Chama is not a company. You cannot do business with the chama, but it's called merry-go-round. You can organize a way by which you have some revolving funds amongst you. Now, those mamas, I really appreciate them and what they are doing. They are really organized and they know one another so well. So if they want to do business, then they can now venture into company registration. Even if there are 20 mamas and they want to supply, maybe if they want to do business with the counties, for example, they can even choose 5 of them, register a company and represent them. Or they can even go it all, the entire number of 20. Because those mamas have structures put in place and they have same interest because they come from the same locality. Yeah, so for them, I think I approve that they can go ahead and register business limited company, and then now they can approach the relevant entity so that they can do business with them because they have somewhat similar interests. Yeah, and then they know one another well. That is what I can say.
Now, when you open a company or register a company, you're now choosing to go the way of self-employment or being your own company, your own boss. Now, there are these people who are called civil servants. These people, most of them, watu wengi wanasemanga, they are so happy with their salaries, they don't want to open companies, but what can you tell them about the process of opening a company? What are some of the advantages they can get by actually having a company, because they don't have to wait until they get to retirement to open a new company? What can you tell these civil servants in Kenya?
I think through my experience, I can tell you no civil servant is contented with the salary they are getting. Yeah, because the chances of growth are so limited. But now let me tell you one thing. Everybody has a side hustle. I think even the president has a side hustle. Si akona kuku anafuga.
Allegedly.
So it's a good idea to have something on the periphery. But now what I advise the civil servant, you should just watch. The watchwords here are two. One, conflict of interest, and then don't go against the code of conduct and ethics. By this I mean, as a civil servant, you will be filing your returns every year, where your employer pays, pay as you earn, you confirm, then you submit. I detest a scenario where you are filing your returns and then you also add some incomes that you got out of your PIN. Because nowadays, let me tell you, you cannot do any business without passing through the eyes of KRA. There's something called TIMS, which I will discuss. The moment I do business with you and then I invoke your PIN, it is pushed straight to your PIN on iTax. So when you are filing your return, employment income, business income, it is dangerous and it is really risky. Do a limited liability company. You are a civil servant.
Tell them they are watching there.
Oh, you are a civil servant. Probably you are nearing retirement. Do this. Register a limited liability company. Register that school under the name, under the PIN of this limited liability company. A boutique, a hospital, a kindergarten, or rather you could be even having your daughter or your son. Let them own those companies. And then you are at the end of the day, you are the signatory of the bank. But if they check at the ownership of the company, even if it is you, a limited liability company, you are not allowed to get deeper and see who the owners are. When you are filing returns for a limited liability company, you only see the PIN. You don't know the owners of the company. Do your side hustles in a clever way. Do a limited liability company. Register your estates there, your investments, your shops, your retail shops, your schools, and all that. So that when you retire, you still pursue what you liked. You pursue your interest. Don't fear registering a company because you are a civil servant. Thank you.
Now, there's something else also I wanted to ask you, because now once someone opens a business, there are so many other ways someone can earn using that company. And one of the many ways is tenders.
Yes.
Now, this has been a big problem for so many people. What is the tendering process? What are some of the documents involved? So can you advise now this civil servant of ours, ameamua sasa amefungua kampuni, what are some of the tendering opportunities and mambo maybe to do with maybe the processes na kadhalika in this niche?
Yeah, that is a very important question. You realize so many people like free things. Mtu anakuletea LPO anakuambia fanya hii kazi bwana tupate pesa. lipa huyu mtu kitu uchukue hii LPO. The tendering process in Kenya or rather in any other rational territory is very clear. One, there is compliance and registration. Compliance and registration in the sense that, have you registered this company? Have you complied with the relevant entities, KRA, IFMIS, PSRA if you are running a construction company, a security company, NCA if you are running a construction company. Have this in place. Then scout for the tenders. Go to the tender sites. Look for the tenders that you want to apply. Then develop a profile, a response. A profile is the hallmark of a company. It's backbone. It explains everything about the company. Profile has mission, vision. Profile has history of the company. Profile will show you the products and the services that the company is offering. Profile will show the organogram, who is the MD, who is the CEO. Profile will tell you history, what has this company done. Profile will tell you technical and physical and financial ability of this company. Apply for that tender. Then they'll do evaluation. They'll do something called technical evaluation. Is he able to do the job? Then financial evaluation. Then they'll send you the award letter. There's no shortcut about it. It has to appear like that. Then more so, there are some tenders where you must do something called pre-qualification, whereby they call you first to submit your documents, so that one time when they want somebody to do for them a job, they don't float an open tender. They only send you to the guys who are registered with them. Yeah, that's also a way they can do it. But now, now that you've asked this, the other people want to go to the tenders not by registering their own companies. They want to buy companies. Yeah, that's a very good way of doing things. You realize a company was registered even 40 years ago, before you were born, and then now you want to make this company active. There are only two ways of making a company active in Kenya: in the eyes of Sharia House and in the eyes of KRA. Sharia House, there's something called CR29. You file returns year in, year out. You pay some fee there. Then the company gets active on eCitizen. That is when you can even generate CR12 for the company. Now, the most feared one is now, in as far as KRA is concerned. But I tell you, when a company is just lying there, you are not filing a return, there's something called amnesty. Let me tell you, if you stop using a company even in 20 years, for the last 20 years, the penalty should be 20,000 per year. I think from 20 to around 6,000 or 2,000. But let me say 20,000 per year for 2 years, for 20 years. That is around 400,000, right? Amnesty will clear all that. There's something rolling now called amnesty, running from 27th of December 2023 to 2024 to 30th of June 2025, probably in the next 3-4 weeks. Yeah, make that company active. Build on the wealth of that company and get jobs. That company has a track record, blah, blah. That's a very good way of doing it. There are other people who buy companies. Before you buy a company, look at, does it have any tax arrears? Because there's something called agency letter. I sell you my company, you buy it, you get a job, you go to the bank, the money will not leave your bank account. Because KRA has attached all your money. It's called an agency letter, where they send it to all the bank, so that money are not withdrawn from that account. Also check on eCitizen, is the company linked? And above all, are all the directors of this company agreed to sell you this company? Each one of them must consent. If 10 have agreed and only one has not consented, leave alone that company. But then also check on the other loans. Does the company have some other loans? And then also check on the reputation, the recent reputation of the company. Maybe the company ilifanya kitu last week, haijalipuka. Ukishanunua ndio ilipuka. Hii kampuni. Yeah. So those are the nitty-gritties that you have to really check before you decide to buy a company.
Now, you've said others can buy a company, but there are these people who have maybe uncles, maybe their uncles, maybe their fathers, they registered a company 30 years ago, as you say.
Yeah.
So they don't see the need to buy a company. Well, their father had a company, but this company is no longer operational. So can you turn it into an operational company in 2025? And what are some of the maybe advantages, or can you advise against it or for it? Maybe if you can talk about it.
I've seen a very abhorring scenario where somebody who was well-to-do at first, he had his company which he used even to do business, and he paid the fee so well for his kids. And now you know the rules of the game have changed. Even in your area, there are so many old people used to do tenders, blah blah. Nowadays, there is it's called olive branch has been extended to the youth and women and probably people with disability. Your uncle has a company. Ama baba wewe uko na kampuni imekaa over 30 years, wewe sasa unazaeka polepole. Give your son or your daughter this company. Activate the company on e-citizen. Clear this company in the eyes of KRA. There's amnesty. Hata kama kuna deni, there's a payment plan. KRA understands you. Then make this company active. Then transfer it to the son and the daughter of yours. Then let them get AGPO. AGPO is called Access to Government Procurement Opportunities. So that they don't subject themselves to rigorous or other really competitive tendering processes, which was being used by the old people who had resources. And then now they can now do the tenders under, they can now use this company in the eyes of AGPO. Yeah, it has enormous advantages. That is the only way you can transfer this company to your kids. Don't wait until you exit. You know, if somebody dies, let me tell you, I've had scenarios here.
Yes.
Mtu ako na bibi wawili. Na hii kampuni ni ya baba. Baba kisha kufa. And then the two families also become warring. They become rivals. You cannot do anything to that company. Because you must appoint an administrator and these people must agree. So imagine you are struggling with your dad's company which is 40 years old. Na haina kitu. Let the father do it while he's still there so that he helps you get jobs at the county levels in the umbrella of AGPO. Yeah, that is what I can advise you.
So tunaambiwa tusikuwa tu tuna people who are looking for inheritance. Wengine mnafuta tu pesa, mnajua father aliwacha pesa, wenye wako majenzi, wengine wanajua mmeachiwa account ya YouTube, account ya bank. So don't just be looking for mzee aliacha wapi ng'ombe. Also look for what companies did mzee have. Alikuwa ameregister company yake.
Yeah.
Did it have any money? Did it do any business? Because you may be sleeping on gold. Mimi nakwambia ukweli. Now, my friend, speaking of mambo ya kuexit, umesema kuna wazazi wenye wameachia wenzao maybe mali mingi, kampuni. Sasa kuna vijana wameachiwa nyumba. Wana collect rent hapa nje Nairobi. They are getting a lot of money. But I heard one of them saying that he was shocked to hear that there's something called tax on rent, or maybe you can explain, or rental income. And he was really shocked because he's been collecting rent for the last 10 years. What can you say about this?
Yeah, it's a really case at hand. You realize the well-to-do people sit without really telling their kids on what to do with their investments. Utapata mtu anapata rental income kwa account yake na hata yeye ana kampuni. And he hasn't even filed for rental income tax.
Maybe hajui, maybe hana ujumbe. Najua ignorance is not a solution.
If you read the finance bill that is being rolled out, KRA has realized there are a lot of loopholes when it comes to rental income tax. It is an area that they want to tap on. And I told you last time how they do it. They come to your property, wanajifanya kama wanataka kurent. Ngambia, nyumba yako ni mzuri bwana, hii inaweza kuwa pesa ngapi? Hii ni 40,000. Na ziko ngapi? Ziko 10. Nitakuja. Na stima mnalipaje ama mtanikatia stima? Mita iko wapi? Anaenda anaangalia mita ya stima. Anaandika namba ya mita. Kama anapiga picha. Jamaa narudi kwa ofisi yake. Mita is linked to your KRA pin. Anakuchapa returns from 2016. Sasa wewe ukienda ku file return, haiendi through. You have to start from 2016. The best thing, don't wait. These people are looking for you. If you are a landlord and you are not filing returns, or rather you are not paying the rental income tax. Rental income tax is paid at the rate of 7.5% gross. I think it's very fair. And for you to be in line, or rather for you to organize your records well, register a company, and then register a rental income tax obligation. Start filing even from next month or from last month. Start filing and keep records. KRA will not have issues with you. But if you are getting that money and you never know even who your tenant is, maybe he's a KRA staff, ile siku mtakosana na yeye atatoa records ile hivi. So don't risk. Eat your wealth, it's good, but give what belongs to KRA also, so that we will live harmoniously. We coexist with the tax man. Pay your tax. It is just a paltry 7.5% gross. Very important.
So kama we ni young developer, unajitanga sponsor Nairobi, you have a new responsibility. Go and look for something called what?
If you have a property on which you get rental income, register rental income tax obligation and start filing your returns, and you'll thank me later.
Si tu watu wanasumbua in Nairobi na they are in the eyes of KRA, they are not clean people. Now, something else I wanted to ask you, because now there are new terms flowing in the air, you know, being thrown in the air, because this young person hakuwa anajua mambo inaitwa mambo ya rental income, then amefungwa biashara kidogo, ameachiwa inheritance na mzazi wake, ama maybe amehustle kidogo, then anaambiwa there's something called TIMS. What is this TIMS things? Anashindo, what is this tena?
TIMS in full is a electronic tax invoice management system.
Sema pole pole, unajua tunaogopa hizi majina. Inasemaje?
TIMS, electronic tax invoice management system. Aya. Kwanza before ufanyie mtu kazi yoyote, ensure you are registered TIMS. That is the only way KRA knows you should be doing invoicing. I pay you some money, even 1 million, and then I don't pay you through TIMS. And when I'll be filing my returns, I declare that as an expense. KRA will cancel that. KRA will say, you paid it in your own way, you didn't follow our way. Nobody will pay you nowadays if you don't have TIMS.
Okay.
TIMS you just activate on your laptop. You don't even need to buy an ETR machine.
Okay.
Yeah, you just activate. Then you give a client your invoice. Maybe I'm a plumber, I'm working for you. I give you my invoice on my letterhead, and then you agree it's okay. You cannot pay me still. I'll have to come and give you TIMS version of that invoice. I input that information in the TIMS, so that KRA also says, yes, now that is the invoice. That is what you should pay about. The moment, that is what you should pay on. The moment I generate that TIMS invoice, it hits your iTax, or rather your TIMS as well. So that when you will be filing returns, KRA already knows that money is there. This transaction is there, so you cannot file nil returns. Mimi sikufanya biashara. But if you invoice in any way that you think fit for you, you will bear that burden at the end of the year. KRA will not allow you to declare that as an expense. That guy will run away with that money as his income, because he attempts to declare income, maybe wants to avoid tax, or rather evade tax. But you cannot, you will pay for him tax, because KRA will not allow you to declare this as an expense, because you did not follow the right channel when invoicing. When paying this client, should pay him through invoice ya TIMS yenye amekupea, ndio unalipa.
And what is the whole importance of this TIMS thing? I mean, what is different from the old way of doing things? Nimesikia something called ETR machine is not needed here. What is?
TIMS has really streamlined things. It is the best way of doing things, because people used to come up with their own invoices. Mtu anaenda tu ananua invoice hapo River Road, anaandika accommodation 60,000. Anaandika hata XYZ hotel. And he didn't even go to that hotel. And you realize early on, when you attach that invoice, when filing returns, KRA would just agree, maybe this is okay. So people used to falsify a lot of documents. So any transactional or business must pass through TIMS, so that it gets the blessings of KRA, so that when, as far as tax issues concerned, return issues, KRA has endorsed that transaction. It streamlines. It's like in a high school why some people should not put on red socks, others white socks. That uniformity and streamlining things.
Organizing things.
So when you are there, you are doing business. You don't even start doing that business if you don't know how you will be paid. You are not on TIMS, you don't have VAT, and then you want to invoice client plus VAT. Regularize this first. Have TIMS or invoice. Register TIMS, register VAT, so that ultimately once you've done the job, you not get into headwinds with the client because he has failed to pay you. Makosa sio yake. Weenda register TIMS, weenda uactivate your pin for VAT, ndio atakulipa, because akikulipa bila hiyo yeye amejiweka kwa hot soup.
Now, I also saw on your list of services that you also help foreigners to do business in Kenya. Now, I want you to talk to a foreigner who's watching us for the very first time. Maybe he's in Sweden, Dubai, these other countries, or even just Tanzania here, kwa Mama Suluhu, or kwa Museveni. But they want to do business in Kenya. What is the process? Can you talk to this person? Pole too.
You say the foreigner is in let me just say is in the US.
Yes.
Now Kenya has a lot of lucrative investment opportunities. Now solar is the thing now. Solar is very lucrative. Before you come and exercise your investment or rather right or interest in Kenya, you must have a company. And just after thinking of having a company, you must have bank account. Now this is how it goes. Come to Kenya, tax agents like us, on a passport I'll give you your KRA pin, I'll give you your tax pin and tax compliance, I'll register you e-citizen. You'll go ahead and open a bank account pending acquisition of work permit. Banks mostly give like 4 months grace period when you can run the account as you look for the work permit. That is when you can run that business. But if you just come and then you want to invest without following this channel, actually there's nothing you can do in Kenya in terms of investment without having tax pin. And tax pin, if you go to KRA, they'll ask you to have work permit first. So that is how you should start. Now once you register this, then you have a fully registered company, or go open a bank account. Get the relevant licenses. The trading license, the county trading license. Then go, if you want to do mining, go for dealership license or import and export license, mineral export and import license. You want to do horticulture, you want to export, go and register with KEFIS. These people will only register you as a company, not as an individual. So as you process your work permit, your business will be rolling. So you don't have to wait, and your monies will be going to your bank account. You can do online banking from even your country. Yeah, that is what I can advise.
So a foreigner has to do all those things you've said, right?
Yeah, he has to do all those things so that he can run business smoothly in Kenya. Yeah.
Now, what if I am a Kenyan and I am having someone who's an investor from another country, again maybe from the US you've just mentioned, and as you said, maybe they want to do business in solar, green energy, that's the new term nowadays, you know. What do I need to have this business running? Because there's money on the line if I keep on waiting, you know, but I can't wait if I can come to you and advise me. So how would you advise me as a business owner wanting to maybe, you know, invest uko nje na with a foreign investor? How does it go in Kenya?
Now you have a potential foreign partner who wants to do business in Kenya. What you do, register a company. Okay, what I advise my clients first, register a company alone.
Oh, ni register kivyangu. I register on my own first of all before involving the investor.
Yeah. The investor, let me say the investor maybe is not in Kenya. Register the company alone, or go straight open bank account after like 2 days. Then add that investor now as part of the CR12.
Investor or partner, sorry.
Of the partner, yeah, the potential investor. so that ultimately he also becomes part of the ownership of the company. But you see, by then the business shall have been running, the bank account is running. Or bring him on board, take at least 15% of the shares. That is what bank dictates. Then on his passport, I'll be able to give you his tax PIN and the tax compliance. Because there's no way a foreigner can open bank account if he doesn't have PIN. The tax PIN. No, you cannot. Even the company itself will not have PIN. Because for the company to have PIN, you must input PINs of all the directors. On iTax is when the company will have PIN. So you understand what I'm saying? Bring his passport. Bring his passport. I give you his tax PIN and the tax compliance. I bring your ID number. I log into your e-citizen. I advise you on how to register a company with him as partners. After that, I'll get you the tax PIN for the company. Because I'll depend on your PIN and his personal PIN, which I acquired at first. That is when you run to bank and open bank account. Yeah.
So it is as simple as that, but people make it to look so complicated. How long does it take before someone from setting up to now getting into business?
No, the ones we've done, at most, the registration take like 3 to 4 days. Yeah, we take 3 to 4 days. We've given you a complete company. Tax compliance, CR12, KRA PIN, memorandum and the articles, certificate of incorporation, and also the PIN of the foreigner, the tax compliance of the foreigner. Yeah, that's literally a whole company. Yeah.
Now, while we are still at the company Enos, there's something we talked about earlier on, to touch on things to do with AGPO. And in here you've talked about shares na kadhalika. Talk to us about what AGPO is, because you told us earlier on, when you have a company, now you can get AGPO and now qualify for tenders and amazing incentives from the government. But what are these incentives? What is the importance of AGPO? What is AGPO?
AGPO in full is access to the government procurement opportunities. It was founded in 2010 Constitution, I think Article 27 or something, whereby the government by then, through the late Kibaki, they realized that youth, women, and people with disability are not able to compete fairly in an open tender, where there were big wigs. You know, there were people who could apply any tender because they have the financial muscle and all that. So to level the tendering ground, they introduced this AGPO. Once a woman, always a woman. Any woman can get AGPO, as long as either you run a business name and you are alone, or you run business name and you are partners with a fellow lady, or you run a limited company and you command between 70 and 100% of the ownership. You qualify for woman. Youth 18 to 34 years. Business name, you are alone, it's okay. Business name, you are two and both of you are youth, qualify straight. Business name, you are two and one of you is not a youth, and you have to go ahead and do something called partnership deed to explain the ownership.
Yes.
It's a complicated thing. Actually, I've never helped anybody to get AGPO for partnership in the last like 2 years. It is complicated for no reason. There's something they call partnership deed, which explains the shareholding, the ownership of the company, of the partnership. So what I advise people, just convert this company to limited and you'll get AGPO within a day or two. Now, it has a lot of advantages. Also, there is something called capacity development.
Capacity development?
Yeah, by the government.
Yes.
They train these people who have AGPO companies a lot. And then there's something called preferential financing.
Yes.
There are banks there are entities which just look for people with AGPO, then they finance your jobs. And then also there's inclusivity, where big wigs can tender, even the downtrodden in the society can also tender. So you see that inclusivity.
So Enos, you've talked in depth about mambo ya AGPO, but what are some of the other requirements that are needed? Maybe if you could expound more on that, if you don't mind.
Okay, that is good. Now, AGPO, we said it belongs to women, youth, and people with disability. And the key point that we should note is that AGPO is not applicable to any company where there's a foreigner. Even when a foreigner has only one share, that company does not qualify for AGPO. Now, if it is for women, and one, it is a limited liability company, then at most 3 months old, CR12, tax compliance of the company, valid tax compliance or other current tax compliance.
And by current, you mean how old?
No, it has not expired. Tax compliance runs for 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is called, that is why I call it valid. And then certificate of incorporation, and then your IDs scanned in original color, and then also the CR12 sensibly must be displaying that you have this 70% share ownership for you, if you want to go for you, for women if you want to go for women, or rather for people living with disability who must also in turn have the card, the disability card. Yeah, so if it is a business name, you only attach the business name certificate linked on eCitizen. You must attach your ID and your tax compliance. That is if it is a sole proprietorship.
Okay.
But if it is a partnership, a business name, attach your IDs, the tax compliance of the partnership, and certificate of incorporation of the partnership business. If it is involving a man and a woman, or a youth with somebody who is not youth, attach a clearly done partnership deed displaying the ownership structure of the partnership as a business name, not as a limited liability company. Yes.
Hey, you seem to know your business right up and down, you know. Why do people, why do people make it look so complicated, yet it seems to be a very simple, straightforward process, if I may kindly ask you?
No, it depicts on the clarity of the documents that you are attached. Somebody can even attach an ID that he photocopied or rather he scanned 10 years ago. That will not help you. And also, people seem not to understand this aspect of age factor and how to display the shares.
Okay.
So that you realize there are people who call me, can you help me get AGPO? Then when I call for the documents, I realize they don't honor the age factor, the age factor and the shareholding factor. Maybe a husband has 40% of the shares and the wife has 60% of the shares. In his mind, he thinks, but the wife is the majority shareholder. Can you get me AGPO? It must be 70-30. So the first thing we have to do is to shake the shares, to add 10% to the woman, so that ultimately the woman will own 70% and the guy will own 10% or 30%, sorry.
Yes.
So that it becomes 70-30. Mark you, the benchmark is 70%.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, hey, you have so much knowledge here, my friend. All these years of experience, I can see now, they are just oozing out of your mouth. Now, I want you to tell me something also very important.
Now we have a package called full package. My partner in the next office is in charge of that. Whereby we've realized once we register people companies, when they're doing the tenders out there, they mess up somewhere along the way. So what do? We get you a company. Full company. We help you get tax compliance, certificate of incorporation, CR12, memorandum and articles, and KRA PIN. That's a complete company. And then now we go ahead and get you company logo, which befits what you want to do. Company profile. You know, company profile is very important because it explains the mission, the vision of the company, the services, or the products that the company deal in, the history of the company, the organogram, who are the shareholders, who is the owner, and then also it depicts on your financial and technical ability of the company. So it is the hallmark of the company. It shows also the contact of the company. Once we do the profile, we also do the company or IFMIS. Government tenders are done through IFMIS, and then also TIMS, and then also we help you get AGPO. All these things, I see we do it even for 3 days, or even 4 days. You have a full company plus AGPO. Yeah.
Hey, this is amazing. Very, very amazing, you know. I can see your many years of experience oozing out easily. Now, Tell me something about what we call construction company, because I'm seeing construction everywhere. Even our president, he's constructing is mambo ya affordable housing, you know, and everyone here is now a foreman. Mwingine hapa hivi sijui anajua kufanya sijui nini, ni contractor. But what is the process of creating or maybe registering a construction company, and what is the way forward next? What are some of the important documents that I need in this, you know, company registration moving forward, so that I don't have any problems with the government?
Now, that is a very good question. It's a really upcoming area. But now, I want to demystify something here. There's nothing called a construction company. I know engineers really felt bad that I'm trying to soil their career, because they were sure whatever I was saying was true. But now I don't need to say it like that. But now, no, but where the rubber meets the road, I'm here to advise the Gen Zs and the young people. Some of them are still at the university. Some of them have just left the university. They don't know where to start. As well, there is no company which is called a construction company.
So I don't need a construction degree or maybe an engineering degree for me to open a construction company.
The two heavy statements are put across. One, you don't need a degree. You don't need to be an engineer to run a construction company, or rather an engineering company.
Unajua Willy Paul akiona hii aseme ati you don't need a degree, Willy Paul will be very happy. But we are not talking about music here. Sorry kidogo. So you don't need a degree to open a construction company. Go ahead. Sorry.
It goes like this. You have your ID number, register company. That company can be a construction company. The only thing which qualifies a construction company is having registered it with NCA. There is no company which is also called a construction company. Like I had some clients call me, I have a construction company that I registered last week, but now I wanted you to help me register NCA. That is not a construction company. Ask me like this. I was in the process of registering a construction company. I've done the first part that I've registered at Sharia House. So please help me get NCA. Advise me on how I can get NCA. What do I mean? You can call company XYZ.
And before you continue, what is this NCA thing that you're saying in initials? What is it in full? If I may kindly stop you from there, maybe you can tell us more.
Now, Eli, what I was saying before you jump to that,
yes,
you can have a company called XYZ
yes,
Publications Limited. These are a construction company the moment you get NCA for it. Hey, you can even call it XYZ agencies. You don't need to call a company XYZ construction company for it to be a construction company. No. What you do, register XYZ agencies limited, or buy a company which is already there, XYZ agency limited, or even XYZ consultants limited, then get NCA. NCA stands for National Construction Authority. You require tax compliance, KRA PIN, certificate of incorporation, and CVs for the shareholders if it's there, or CVs for the staff. Now, before you register a company for NCA, it's not a construction company. Whether you call it XYZ General Contractors and Builders, Nahaina NCA, that is a construction company. NCA in full stands for National Construction Authority. Yes. It is a government agency which regulates any aspect of engineering works, yes, be it mechanical. You want to service the lathes, you want to operate machines, electrical,
build roads.
Electrical, you want to electrify this house, build roads, build it's called road works, building works, and mechanical, and it is roads, water, building, mechanical, and electrical works. You just go for which part you feel you want to do. You are getting a job at the county, and you don't even have a company. So what you have to do, register this company. The county guys want to give you a road to do. Register a company, then I will help you register this company with the NCA Roadworks. So you need to tell me these roadworks the job is about 20 million. Then I will advise you to go for NCA 6. The job is 2 million. Go for NCA 8. The job is 1 billion. Maybe you want to do Thika Superhighway. Go for NCA 1.
Or there are different types of NCAs.
Yes.
Can you tell us, is it from NCA what to NCA what, and what qualifies what amount?
NCA has categories and classes. Categories run from category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where category 8 is the least. Can do a job up to around 5 million. NCA 7 can do around up to 15 million. NCA 1 it's called unlimited. You can do unlimited amount of road works, unlimited amount of water works, building works, mechanical works, electrical works. Now, classes is what I've told you. Road, water, building, mechanical, electrical. Yeah, so it depends on which one you go for. You only provide me with certificate of incorporation, CR12, tax compliance, and the CVs. Also, if you are a supervisor, we'll help you, we'll advise you on how you can register for a supervisor's card. Au wenye wanakuanga kwa nini site wamehang. Or if you are a skilled worker, we'll help you get that card. Or if you are building, you are doing a building and you want to register the project. Unaonanga saa ingine unaona NC wameweka X kwa building, meaning you did not register. So for the project, we'll also help register. There are architectural requirements that we need, the county approvals that we need, and you must partner with a registered contractor which has road, water, building, mechanical, electrical. So all these things we help our clients to get. So don't miss that job because you feel NCA things are ambiguous. No. We are here to guide you, especially the Gen Z. Go for it.
So umesema there is nothing like construction company.
And I'm repeating.
Yes.
There is nothing like a construction company.
Yes.
Any company is a construction company. Yes. If it has NCA. There is nothing like only engineers can register a construction company. Even you, where you come from, the big wigs, the doyens, the real guys who used to do road, who are they? I have so many in my mind I can't even tell you without winking my eyelids. They were old people who didn't even go to school, but they ran successful engineering companies. No school is needed. Scout for the jobs. Engineer ndio yule anatembea pale, atakufanyia hiyo kazi.
So there you have it, dear viewer. Kama umekuwa ukitwatch from the very start of this episode, we've been talking to Enos about matters to do with company registration, things to do with the NCA, things to do with foreign investments, local investment, all these amazing things. And maybe if you wanna know more about these things, you can always reach out to him. His offices are at hapa ni wapi, my friend?
We are located in Kipro Center in Westlands.
Yes.
This is called Parklands Baptist Church is our neighbor here.
Yes.
That is called Sports Road.
Yes.
And then that is called Raptor Road. And also, Eli, more importantly, we are organizing a webinar, a training.
Yes.
On the 3rd and 4th of July, 2025.
Yes.
Whereby it is online. Yeah, if somebody is interested, then they can contact us. Our number is there.
Yes.
I want to train people. We want to train people. Me and my partners on anything e-citizen, owning a company, running a successful company, filing your tax returns, basic skills on tax, advising a foreigner on how he can come and invest in Kenya, such things.
Thank you.
So we'll share with you the link. Just say hi to us and tell us that you are interested.
Yes.
We'll communicate on WhatsApp. My team will contact you on WhatsApp.
So so after someone reaches out, your team will reach out?
Yeah, after someone reaches out that is interested, my team will reach out to you. Then we'll share with you the schedule as we prepare for the 4th and the 3rd of July 2025 next month.
So there you have it, dear viewer. 3rd and 4th of July, you need to reserve your calendars. Make sure you book earlier. Make sure you step into the masterclass, webinar class, whereby Enos and the other partners are gonna be talking so many amazing gold mines. I don't know how to put it. Maybe I'll speak into broken English kidogo, lakini si English kemu si kizungu changu. So if you've been watching us from the very start of this episode, I am very sure that you've learned so much. You've learned everything to do with registering your company, things to do with tax, things to do with construction companies, AGPO, all these things. And if you are looking for ways to learn more about these things, you can always reach out to Enos of Enolix Consultants, and he will be more than glad to help you with all these things. Also, I want you to watch out for his webinar that's going to be hosted on 3rd and 4th of July 2025. So you need to reach out to him, subscribe. There's a number down there. Make sure you call him. There's a WhatsApp number there. Tell him that you're interested to join the class or maybe the webinar, and his team will be more than glad to help you, reach back to you and help you join the class. Ama vipi? Asante sana. Keep on watching this channel. Imegrow sana because wewe unatusupport kila siku and every little journey of the way. Ama vipi? Asante sana. Smash that like button, smash that subscription button, and share this with someone mwenye unajua anaumia, ule mwenye hajafungua company, ule mwenye hajafanya what you call tax filing, AGPO registration and so many of these amazing things. Ama vipi? Na pia kama unataka kujua what is the difference between evading tax and avoiding tax, reach out to Enos, atakusaidia. Ama vipi? Asante kabisa. Let's meet on the next episode. I'm Elkins, your marketing guy. Asante.